Hey guys, so I'm having trouble with audio, so I'm just going to jump right into this last second Halloween look. This is unicorn inspired, so I'm going to be doing all of this in my favorite unicorn onesie, and I am just starting off with my Makeup Forever Ultra HD foundation. I completely ran out of time this year for Halloween makeup, so this is my last second. This was in my closet, and we're going to run with it Halloween look. And to prime my eyes, I'm taking this super light Kat Von D Lock-It Concealer. I like this especially when I'm using bright colors because it hides the discoloration on my lids and also helps make those bright colors even more vibrant. And I'm just setting that with some light colored shadow to make that ish super blendable for all the color I'm about to lay down in my crease and on my lid. And now with the Royal and Langnickel blending brush, I'm dipping into this light purple shade in the Morphe 35B palette, and I'm going to be applying that to the inner third of my crease. And this purple takes a little bit of time to build up, but that's okay. And going back into that palette, I'm taking this deeper purple shade on a Sigma E35 blending brush and applying that to the middle part of my crease into that lighter purple. Again, I'm just taking my time building that color up, and the goal here is a light to progressively more bold gradient effect. And for the outer part of my crease, I'm taking the shade Pinkie Pie from the Pure Cosmetics My Little Pony palette, and I am dragging that color out just a little bit to give it kind of a wing. I haven't had the opportunity to play with this palette a whole bunch, but straight out of the pan, it blended out real nicely into the other shades, and it was very bold and pigmented. I didn't have to worry about having to build it up too much. And now I'm taking the Pink Lemonade Pocket Candy palette from Lime Crime and taking the yellow shade called Lemonade to highlight my brow bone. I kind of wish that this was a single because it's both great as a highlight shade if you use it lightly, and then you can go in real heavy with it and get that beautiful yellow color. And now I'm taking that deeper red shade from the Pocket Candy palette and putting that in my outer V. Something to note with this shade, it's not particularly pigmented, but it's just enough to deepen that area up just a little bit. Moving on to my lid, I'm going to cut half of my crease out, and to do that, I'm taking a tiny detail brush with some of that Kat Von D concealer again. And my eyes are hooded, so I'm being really careful and taking my time carving out a new crease so my lid colors show up when my eyes are open. And 10 years have come and gone, and I am still cutting out my crease. So now that's finally over, I am going to move on to my first lid shade, and I'm using that same yellow shade from the Pocket Candy palette and packing that on the inner third of my lid. I'm not really a huge fan of this palette so far, but I think the purchase is worth it strictly for this beautiful yellow shade. And now I'm taking the shade Shell from the Lime Crime Venus palette, and I'm popping that in the center portion of my lid. I'm gently blending that into the Lemonade shade and dragging that over towards the dark pink. To tie that all together, I'm taking that darker pinkish red shade from the Pocket Candy palette again and deepening my outer V with it. And I'm also flicking that shade outward to elongate the shape of my eye. And to finish off my lid, I'm taking the Lime Crime Mermaid Highlight palette and I'm popping that purplish shade on the center of my lid to give it a little bit of a spotlight effect. And then I'm cleaning that edge up with an Artis Art Craft brush. I'm going to finish up my concealer before I do the rest of my eyes. So for concealer, I'm using my favorite Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, and I'm going to blend that out with the same brush that I used to buff in my foundation. And I'm just going to set that all with my Laura Mercier setting powder and a Morphe tapered powder brush. And I'm going to avoid setting that where I'm putting my highlight because I'm going to be using a cream highlighter later on. So to finish up my lower lash line, I'm going to go back in with that Morphe 35B palette and run that teal shade in the palette across the inner 2/3 of my lower lash line. And then I'm going to finish it off with the deeper purple shade from the palette and the red from the Pocket Candy palette. And to finish that all off, I'm popping that green shade from the Lime Crime Unicorn Highlighter palette into my inner corner. So since this is supposed to be less practical and much more Halloween, I'm going to contour with some blush. And for this blush, I'm using this shade that was from last year's MAC Holiday Collection and running that along my cheeks and into my forehead. And for my highlight, I'm taking the Milk Makeup Holographic Stick and applying that with my finger and just tapping that on the high points of my face. This highlighter stick has honestly won me over, and I will be a fan and love it and cherish it forever. And now with the Lime Crime Unicorn Highlighter palette, I'm grabbing that purple shade and popping that right on top of where I laid down the highlighter stick. This really makes that purple highlight pop. And I just want to connect the pink from my eye into the blush just a little bit, just to kind of bring all the pink together. And again, being extra because it is Halloween, of course, I'm going to take the Dazzle Lock Shadow Primer from Smolder Cosmetics and pop that on top of my highlight. And before that all dries, I'm going to layer this glitter from LA Splash Cosmetics called Ticolini on top of that. And I'm not going to stop there. Now I'm taking this chunky dotted glitter from Born Pretty and putting that on top of that glitter. Again, this is last second Halloween and not practical every day. We've come this far with sparkle so far, so let's just take it one step further. I'm taking the Unicorn Queen Diamond Crusher from Lime Crime and just running that through my eyebrows. And once I run that through, I'm taking the spoolie side of my brow brush and brushing that into the hair so it isn't just sitting on top of my brows. And real quick, I'm going to apply these Violet Voss lashes in the style Striptease. And to finish off my lips, I'm taking the Velvetine shade Siren from Lime Crime and topping that with the Over the Rainbow Diamond Crusher. And this is the finished look. It was definitely a last second throw together look, but this unicorn onesie has been sitting in the back of my closet calling my name, wanting me to do a tutorial with it, so how could I say no? Thank you all so much for watching and have an amazing Halloween!